Alright guys, welcome to another video where we are going to talk about Bitcoin. We are talking about how Bitcoin behaves with the 4-year halvings and how we can take advantage of that. So currently we are in 2013, January. Price is dropping, it's still in a bearish trend. But I want to show you the importance of analyzing the historic data. As you can see, in 2021, by the end November, we had an all-time high. Price reached 67,000, 68,000. Same thing in April, the same year. But this is the most important date because by the end of the year of 2021 is when we reached the new all-time high. And what happened the prior year? In May of 2020, there was a halving event, meaning Bitcoin rewards were reduced by half. Okay, keep that in mind. When was the previous halving event? It was in 2016, right about here. What happened the next year, 2017? By the end of 2017, there was an all-time high. This means that 1 year after the halving event, Bitcoin creates a new all-time high. It has repeated here in 2021, 2017, and you guessed it, in 2013, because there was a halving event in 2012. You can see here an all-time high followed by a steady drop, a bearish drop towards some key level. We don't care about what number it reached. What we care about is when it happens. So sometime in 2012 there was a halving event. The next year, by the end of the next year, in November to be precise, there was a new all-time high. Keep that in mind. Same thing here, December 2017 and November 2021. When is the next one supposed to happen? Well, if I were to predict this is not financial advice, by the way, I would imagine price moving steadily like this until 2024, when the new halving event happens. Then 2025 we can expect a new all-time high. 2025, when 2023, and we have several years to go now, somewhere around there. Now the thing is, the bottom price before the rally up, let me correct this, the bottom price is either by the end, well, if the halving event is in 2020, we take a look at the past year, the previous year, and you see here, this area, this is the lowest point. This is the lowest point before the rally up. That happened by the end of 2018 and at the start of 2019, meaning 1 year before the halving event, we reached the bottom. See, December, January. Same thing could happen here. You see, we are in January, by the end of 2022. January 2023 is 1 year before 2024, which is when the halving event happens, which means it's likely that we may reach a bottom somewhere at the start of this current year, 2023. Now, this is not perfect. The market makers are the ones making the price, they are calculating everything. So just an estimation based on previous behaviors. If we take a look at 2016, the halving event happened somewhere in this year. And what if we want to see the lowest point, we go to the previous year. You see, January 2015. That was the lowest point. Yeah, here you have another dip, but that doesn't really count because you see, January is the month that counts. Here is January again. So it's 2 years before the halving. Well, 1 year before the halving event. Same thing here, 1 year before. If you take a look at 2012, well, this chart is way smaller. So yes, about the end of the year, the start of the year. So 2012 is an important event, and the year prior is when we see the lowest point. So in November, I mean in January it was a bit high, but that was a long time ago. So it's much less reliable than current data. As you know, Bitcoin was created in 2008. So the first halving event was in 2012, and in January, somewhere in there, we had the lowest point. And in 2013, meaning next year after the halving event, is when we see the all-time high. Now the price went a bit crazy well, yeah, this is the real all-time high. By the end of 2013, that's when it happens. So the next all-time high is in 2017, and it's by the end of 2017. Let's take a look and see if that's correct or not. Yep, the end of 2017, and the next all-time high is by the end 2021. There you go, November. I'm checking the dates down there if you noticed. So the next all-time high will be 2025, somewhere around December. Now we don't know if that's the case because, you know, market makers, banks, and people that move a lot of money are the ones making the markets. So we don't know if that's the case, but we can expect some sort of continuation of previous behaviors. Now another point that I want to discuss is what's the price at the bottom compared to the high. This is important because if we know what price the bottom is supposed to reach compared to the high, we can estimate the bottom of this new rally and the high of the new rally, so we can capitalize on the opportunity. Well, let's take a look at 2017, the year prior. We see a bottom here. That's, if you look to the right, here, you see that it's $167. That's the bottom, and the high after 2 years, it's about 20,000. Let's say 20,000. Let me write it down here. High 20,000, low 167. That's a big increase, isn't it? Now, if we take a look at the next year, the next rally that happened in 2019, we have the low, which is about 3,200, and the high, which was 69,000. Low 3,200. Now let's take a look at the last one, which was in 2012. The high is 1,200 and the low is like around here, somewhere around here. Let's say $3. Now from those numbers we can predict the next rally. If you notice, if you make some calculations, I've done it for you. The difference between 3 and 1,200 is that's like 69,000%, somewhere around that. It's a massive increase. Here, well, let me check real quick. Here is about 12,000, just what I thought. Here, 69,000. It's about 2,100, 2,100. So, what can we deduct from that? Well, we can see that every year the price of Bitcoin has a smaller difference between the low and the high. The first rally, it had a very drastic difference between the low and the high. If you put like $1,000, you would have made 69,000% of that. The next year, you see it's like dropping in increases. So the next year we can expect the increase to be about less than 2,000%. More realistically, 1,000% increase between the bottom and the high. And the prices were increasing like so. First we got 3, then 167, then 3,200. If we compare those numbers, we can deduct when the next low will happen. Let's compare them like that. 5,500 increase between these two. Now if you go to the other one, we have a 1,900 increase. So we can expect that the next increase is lower, 1,900, meaning the bottom of the next rally, which will happen in 2024, will be, compared to the previous low, will be lower than 1,900%. So what does that tell you? Well, if we, let's take a realistic number like 1,000. Now, if we take 1,000, 3,200 by 1,000%, how much is that? So, if we do the following, take 1,000%, multiply by 320, we get a low of 32,000, which is not the case. Right now we can see that the low is lower than that. You see, it's drastically lower. So it can be either 500% or smaller. Let's say 500%. We divide it by 2. We have a low of 16,000 somewhere in here. You see, This could be the low. We don't know for sure, but based on these numbers we can estimate that. So yeah, those you can calculate yourself the potential high. I'll leave that up to you, because it's, you know, it's an exercise that you can do yourself. But of course the low could still be lower, could be, I say 10,000 will not be reached. It may get close to 10,000, but I don't think it will be reached, because Bitcoin likes to get close to price that psychologically makes sense but doesn't reach them. For instance, here 70,000, there were a lot of people selling here at 70,000, but guess what? They stopped just before that happened. Whoever's manipulated the markets, whoever's moving billions of dollars, said, okay, we don't want to go further than this. Which means all the people that were buying here and set us a take profit here, they didn't get their profits. They went down. So that's how they manipulate people. Same thing with the lows. Let me check that. You see, 3,000. It didn't reach 3,000. It got to about 3,100, which tells you that market manipulators, whoever is in charge of the market, will not make it easy for you. When you see price approaching a very key level, they will not touch the exact number. They will get close, but then they will bounce. And as you can see from here, it didn't come back, not even once. Well, maybe here, but it didn't even get to this level, you see. So that tells us that the next low will not be a number easy to predict. It could be 12,000, could be 11,000, but it won't reach, I don't think that it won't reach 10,000, because it's way too easy, it's way too, you know, everybody's expecting that. So yeah, that's my analysis on Bitcoin. This is what I think could happen. This is not financial advice, this is my own analysis. And yeah, the truth is, we don't know what will happen, because they may realize, okay, a lot of people are saying these things, let's change it up, let's make the bottom even lower, something crazy like that. But being realistic, I don't think the bottom will be lower than 3,000, which is this bottom. Why? Because over this movement, over these years, a lot of people have accumulated Bitcoin and they kept it. Even though a lot of people sold, a lot of people accumulated, and the amount of people holding here compared to the next low is far bigger. After 3 or 4 years, there's a lot more people holding. I mean, the price will not reach the next low. So yeah, that's my prediction.